Math 252, section 7.3. This is video 2. We're going to do example 3, and depending on how long it takes, we might do example 4 too, but example 4 will likely be the next video. Example 3 from the book. Solve the differential equation y double prime minus 6y prime plus 9y equals t squared plus e times e to the 3t power. And it's initial value problem. Y of 0 equals 2. Y prime of 0 is equal to 17. Did I copy that down right? I copied that down right. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with this differential equation that we have right here. And we're going to take the Laplace transform of both sides. So that will convert it from a differential equation to an algebraic equation. Now, the theorem we had in the previous section, we know how to take the Laplace transform of the left-hand side. It's just going to be s squared times capital Y, where capital Y is the Laplace transform of little y, minus s times y of 0, y prime of 0, minus y of 0. I got those backwards. It's supposed to be s times y of 0 and y prime of 0. Minus 6 times the Laplace transform of y prime, which is sy minus y of 0. And we got plus 9 times capital Y. That's our left-hand side. Right-hand side, well, the Laplace transform of t squared is going to be 2 factorial, which is just 2 over s cubed. But that e to the 3t is going to cause us to translate it by 3 units. So instead of having s cubed, we now have s minus 3 cubed. If it weren't for that e to the 3t, it would just be 2 over s cubed. That e to the 3t means we're now shifting that 3 units. Okay, let's distribute on the left-hand side and then group the terms with the y in them and then factor out the y, the capital Y, and we're left with s squared minus 6s plus 9 times capital Y, minus s times y of 0. Y of 0 is 2, so that's minus 2s, minus y prime of 0, minus 17, minus 6 times y of 0, minus a minus, so that's plus 6 times y of 0, which is 6 times 2, 12. Nope. Minus 2s plus minus 17 plus 12. Is that supposed to be minus 2s? Y of 0 is 2. That is supposed to be minus 2s. And the right-hand side is still 2 over s minus 3 cubed. Now we're going to add the negative 17 plus 12, and then add the 2s and the 5 to both sides. And so let's write this s squared minus 6s plus 9. Let's factor that. That's s minus 3 squared times y. equals, that's a capital Y. We're adding 2s to both sides, and we're adding 5 to both sides because minus 17 plus 12 is negative 5. And then we get rid of that negative 5 by adding 5 to both sides, plus the 2 over s minus 3 cubed, s minus 3 cubed, that was already there. And then divide both sides by s minus 3 squared, you get capital Y is equal to 2s plus 5 over s minus 3 squared plus 2 over s minus 3 q to the fifth. Now, the s minus 3 squared and the s minus 3 to the fifth is telling us that we want to write all of our s's with s minus 3 in parentheses. So I'm going to replace that s in the top with s minus 3. Outside it's just a 2. 2 times the quantity s minus 3. And what did I just do? If I distribute that 2, what I just did is I subtracted 6. So to undo that, I'm going to add 6. That trick pretty much keeps us from having to do partial fractions, but and now we break that up into 2 fractions, so that's 2 over s minus 3 plus 11 over s minus 3 squared, and still plus 2 over s minus 3 to the fifth. That's capital Y. Our little y is the inverse transform of that. So little y is L inverse of all that stuff. That says 11 in the top. And because of the s minus 3, everything's composed with s minus 3. We can think of the translation by 3 units to the right on the s-axis. And when we take the inverse transform, that's the equivalent of multiplying by e to the 3t. So we have e to the 3t times the inverse transform of 2 over s plus 11 over s squared plus 2 over s to the fifth. And we write that's the same as e to the 3t. Inverse transform of 2 over s is just going to be 2. 11t. And here we would need a 4 factorial in the top. So let's dress this up and write this as 4 factorial in the top because it's s to the fifth in the bottom. And let's write a 4 factorial in the bottom too, which is 24. So now we have 2 over 24, which is 1 over 12. And that's the solution. All right, I do the next example. It's probably going to take more than 6 minutes, which is going to make this video a bit long. So we're going to stop here and do the next example and the next video.